recording.
تفضل.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بعد الدعاء السفر سبحان الذي سخر لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين إنا إلا ربنا لمنقلبون. I'm here with Dr. Hani al-Banna. Whenever we travel together, we get opportunity to learn and to understand. And he has begun the journey with a concept that either Dr. Hani is crazy or I don't understand. So the concept is humanitarian work, correct me if I'm wrong, started as Islamic Relief specifically started locally, then we expanded internationally. Now we want to go universally. And doctor told me about the diameter of one of the smallest galaxies was 30,000 light years in circumference.
No, it's traveling distance.
Traveling distance. And we have to go there. But I don't know how we're going to get there, and I don't know why we need to go there. So you can explain to me, please. We have 2-hour journey.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to travel with brother Abdul Rashid. It's not the first time, but whenever we travel together, we learn from one another. He threw the difficult questions. Today I threw the difficult question. I think any idea start on the local basis, at your street, the backyard of your house, with a handful of people. They should believe in your idea. They should help you to change your idea into an initiative. Let us look at the initiative or the idea as a seed that you need to plant it in a fertile land.
Yes.
With your friends. This seed will become later on as a tree. But for me and you, the fertile land is the community. And all the community globally are fertile lands.
Right.
They are full of resources. I don't ever go to an area where I say this community is not suitable, this community is better. All of them are highly talented and full of resources. But we as workers need to discover their talents and their resources underneath their feet. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never created a nation or a being, animal or bird or insect or fish, without creating in its piece of land the rizq. And the difference between the rich man and the poor man, and the rich man works harder. The poor man becomes lazy, does not work harder. Unless the country is corrupt and make everybody poor. So you, as Abdul Rashid, started to plant your idea at the back of the mind of this small group with you, who are going to change it from an idea into an initiative, or from a seed into a vegetation and then a tree. Clear?
Yes, yes.
Now I'm not crazy yet.
No.
Not yet.
It's tarbiyah of the idea.
Yeah. And from there, the farmer, which is yourself, or the thinker, which is yourself, and the group need to protect the idea as initiatives. Okay?
Yeah.
And change it from just an initiative to a project, and from a project to organization.
Right.
Or you as a farmer planted the seed
Yeah.
in the fertile land, which is a community.
Right.
You need to look at the vegetation coming out from the community, nurturing your seed to make it a tree. You and your colleague. Clear?
Yes.
Whether it's an idea or a seed, initiative or a tree.
Right.
Okay. Now the tree is growing. Nobody is caring about it. The rest of the people.
Right.
which are the thugs and the bad guys and the opportunists and the lookers and all of them. Because there's no fruits. Hard work.
Okay.
You're still working in the darkness. Nobody knows you. Who is Abdul Rashid? He's nothing. Who is Al Banna? Is nothing. He's just cleaner. Just keep talking about what? About that he's going to make a change. He's a madman. Don't listen to him. Al Banna is a madman. Maybe Abdul Rashid is another madman like him. Because there's no fruits. They could not see what this seed will bring, not only to the community but to humanity.
Right.
Those handful of people with Abdul Rashid will keep looking after the vegetation till the stem of the tree becomes solid, the trunk,
Yeah.
and become wooden and become very high in the sky. A lot of branches, a lot of birds coming there. People will start saying, oh my God, yes, it's growing now. Oh, we didn't realize that. But they are not interested yet because the fruits are not there yet.
Right.
Those people who have been telling you off as a madman, or telling me off as a madman, or telling her off as a madwoman, they will see after a few years, there's a tree. Now, it is the time for Abdul Rashid and his team to engage the community. Because the community, once it sees the tree, they will send you the resources that you want, which is mainly human resources. That's what we need from them.
Right. Okay.
Why I'm talking about this at that time at the local level? Because the more growth of the tree vertically to the skies, the more growth of the roots of the tree invertly is the good?
Yeah, and out
Downwards.
and
Downwards and surface. Because there's surface roots and deep roots to make it solid. Once this happens, the fruits will be coming. At that time, you find the opportunists coming to Abdul Rashid and his people because they want to pick up a fruit, or they want to become a part of the journey, or they want to be employed by the organization of Abdul Rashid. We just took Abdul Rashid and his people over 20, 30 years till the trees blossomed and the fruits came out. So the success of Abdul Rashid and his team has to be measured by what? The most important scale of measurement of Abdul Rashid's success is engagement of the local community.
Right.
The more you engage, the more powerful you become, and the more dynamic you become, and your trees, which is your organization, will be very fruitful. The less will be the less.
Right.
If you keep it only to yourself, or to your own small group, or a small jama'at, or a small sect, or small whatever it is, it will just be local. Very rarely it becomes global. But the more you engage the local community, the more the local community will give you as much as you want to make your organization from a seed to a fruitful tree, and from an idea to philosophy and to encyclopedia.
Right.
So, engagement of community, which we call it localization, is the key factor of the main success of any organization. So, they let you rise from the ground or from the land to the sky in this coming 30 or 40 years. The birds will come to your branches of the tree, eating the fruits and dropping its droplets or the droplets somewhere else. So the fruits or the trees will be planted in different parts of it. The animals are the same.
Yes.
The ants are the same, and so on. And the wind will take the seeds, actually, right, left, and center, or north, south, and east and west. Once it goes out to this different dimension, the community will elevate you on a platform to make you global. And let Abdul Rashid and his idea and his team stand on the sky and don't say the sky is our limit. Sky will be Abdul Rashid's platform. And if Abdul Rashid and his people engage the community at this level, okay, the community will take you from this sky level to the universal level.
Okay.
The crucial factor in this journey, which could be 100 years, is the more you rise, the more you engage. The more the community will prepare another platform for you at this level, this level, this level, this level. Once you are on the platform of the global level, which is the ceiling of the global level and the platform of the universal level, they will tell you through the resources, look, Abdul Rashid, can you see this galaxy? Can you see this galaxy? Abdul Rashid does not know what's galaxy. Because inside this community will be scientists, will be pioneers, will be thinkers, will be theologians, will be all this kind of people who tell Abdul Rashid, go this way. It's shorter to go to this galaxy. I know how can I make a vehicle to reach this galaxy.
I understand.
So from this journey, Abdul Rashid and his team made their success story through what? Through community engagement, localization. That's why the more you engage the local community, the more the local community will make the land underneath your feet solid, so you can rise and keep rising and keep rising. Once we cut them off, we cut ourselves off. And this is what happened when those locusts, as I mentioned, will come to you. You know when? Only when they see the fruits, because they want to pick up something.
My question then is,
yes,
if that happens, do you engage with the locusts, or do you tell them, go away, we built this over all these years and now you're coming to take the fruit?
Sometimes you might be busy knowing them because you are busy working. But if the community is with you, they will tell you, be careful, this woman is one of them, this man is one of them, because they are from them. They know their backgrounds. They can't fool you, but cannot fool the community.
Right.
If you are cut off the community and cutting yourself, you and your organization from the community, of course they will come and take over, because they are very busy. Pioneers like Abdul Rashid, who are visionary and can see the future and can read the future, have no time for those little ones who come say, yes sir, we are with you, we will help you, and give you something nice and give you the the piece of comfort.
By the way, my vision is not that spectacular. I just want to be, I'm a resource myself. Allah has created me. I have a brain, I have arms, I have a mouth, a tongue, and I want to use my resource to be the best that I can for.
Inshallah, you will.
People.
If you keep looking for it, Allah will give it to you.
Inshallah.
The more you look at yourself inside your own psyche and self and mind, you will find treasures that you never realized before digging deep inside your actually.
I have a question, doctors.
Yes.
As a convert or a revert, I have sometimes a privilege that others don't have.
Definitely.
And also, my white skin gives me a privilege sometimes. How should I use it? If my vision is to engage and help, should I use that, or should I?
See, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-Muslim الذي يخالط الناس ويصبر على أذاهم خير من الذي لا يخالط الناس ويصبر على أذاهم." The Muslims who mix with people and be patient on their hardship, so they backstab him, they scandalmonger him, they say rumors about him, far more better than the Muslim who is sitting at home making ibadah worship and doing nothing for the community. My advice for you, keep engaging. But show them the character of engagement. Forget about your skin.
Yeah.
Forget about being a revert.
Yeah.
Engagement means show humility, good manner, be man of every available for everybody. Be transparent. Don't promise something that you cannot do. And this kind of things, the community will see you inside. They'll see you from inside.
Yeah.
Because they can look and observe the way you speak, the way you get dressed. And I was in Turkey a few weeks ago, and one of the people, one of my friends, young man, said, this organization, after a few years, I found that some of the directors are driving very expensive cars. I could not be able to make any comment. Okay. Then they have big building, like headquarters. I said, for the building, I can argue, because if it's owned by the organization, it's an asset.
Yes.
But for the car, I cannot argue. How did they get the money for the car?
Right.
Okay. Because we all work in this place, and this is where people can read your thoughts and measure your distances.
Right.
Abdul Rashid, you see, once upon a time, a woman, her name was Khawla. Allah revealed the Quran on her name, not her name, because of her story. She was defending her husband in Surah Al-Mujadala. She was arguing about the rights of her husband. She became very old, and Umar became the Khalifa. And she looked at him when I was walking next to her. Umar said, yes, lady. We used to call you Umair as a nickname when you were a little miserable baby. Then we called you Umar when you started to look after the camels of your family in the middle of the desert. And now we're calling you Amir al-Mu'mineen. What a life. One of the people working with Umar was trying to respond to her, said, stop. You don't know who is she. He said, who is she? He said, she's Khawla. Khawla, that her name is memorized as the Quran, not as a name, but as a story.
Right.
You don't know the value of such a woman walking and talking to you. She might be looking very poor,
Right.
old, frail woman, but you don't know her value for Allah. It's where they find the treasures. Another frail old woman came at the time of the conquest of Mecca. And when Prophet ﷺ saw her, he ignored everybody. All the big leaders of the tribes, the armies and knights and soldiers, and sat her down and was talking to her for an hour. Everybody was looking at him, what he's doing, leaving all these big people and sitting with, who is this woman? Who is she? When she finished, not when he finished, when she finished, you know what he said? To answer the question, she is a friend of Khadija. And this is the loyalty and the respect, the spirit and the soul of Khadija. Here, in your community and in every community, there are treasures like this. You have to recognize them because they are the keys for barakah and the foundation of success, and the elevators which will take you from the local to the global to the universal, because they have the experience and they can read you. They can read your eyes, your nose, your mouth, lips, your body language, the tone of your speech, because they've been living here enough for 70 years or 80 years. Who are you, a little miserable man? Coming to the mama and I'm a new revert with white skin and blue eyes. You know what they'll tell you? Get lost. Got it?
Yes. Yes, alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you. And my other part of understanding is, okay, talk about local global. Can you expand on universal?
Universal is something that we need to discover. Scientifically, of course. Because if it has been mentioned in the Quran, then explained by the scientists, Muslims have to discover the universe.
Can you give an example, like in humanitarian concept? I saw something on Al Jazeera just the other day that the Gazans have started to make benzene from waste plastic.
That's it. Brain. Your brain capacity can accommodate any idea if you manage to manage the resources of your brain or the intellect of your brain. They call it insaniya in Arabic and humanitarian in English. Insaniya in Arabic is more comprehensive than humanitarian in English. Because humanitarian in English means humanitarian response.
Right.
Disasters. That's why how on earth we do this and we just feed people and give them some clothes and others. No. In Arabic, insaniya is every thing deals with the aspect of life of man and woman, and the society around them, which include rehabilitation, development, advocacy, everything. But all this as in al-ulum al-insaniya. Call it in Arabic al-ulum al-insaniya. If you call it humanitarian subject, it will take you back to the very small avenue of humanitarian response. Okay?
Yes.
And for us as Muslims, if Allah mentioned the globe, the skies, the sun the cycle of the movement of the moon and the star, and the moon and the sun and the stars, He is telling you to look at the universe. Look beyond this.
Right.
Look beyond this. Don't just look at this and say, wow. Look at how wow. What's wow?
We look at that as Muslims and even non-Muslims, Christians, Jews, people of faith. They look beyond this world, especially in times of disaster. Like
if you go to if you go to NASA,
yeah,
that's their job. NASA in America.
That's their job, their full-time job. Looking.
We don't have NASA in the Muslim countries.
Looking and listening. Oh, we don't. No, we don't.
That's it.
Yeah.
But to have people from us working in NASA.
Okay.
But we have not built independent institution like NASA to allow Abdul Rashid as a scientist or astronomist or to discover this and explain to us why the few people who struggled in the history of the Ummah to do it on an individual basis, especially recently. At the time of the good old days, a lot of Muslim scientists were supported by their governments. At the time of the Khilafat,
Right.
whether Abbasi or Umayyad or Umayyad or the Andalusian or the other one is Ottoman. But now there's no Khilafat. But a lot of Muslims are working in this big institution and making a change. But why they cannot work in their own countries? Because there is no platform for them. If you look at the research created by NASA and the other organization, you will be shocked. Allah has mentioned this 1,000, 1,400 plus years ago about the cycles, about the stars, the fading, shooting stars, about the what do you call it, the barrier between the seas and the ocean, or the seas and the river, and the river and the river. It's been mentioned not only to see that, it's mentioned for you, to enable you to think beyond this mention. Oh my God, is it there? Let me go there.
Wow.
Okay. And the galaxies as a word has been mentioned in the Quran as well, and Hadith. That's why Allah is giving you the keys or the keynotes for you to go behind or go beyond that and discover. That's why, if you as a Muslims or non-Muslims, the more you work hard in yourself, the more that Allah will open the door for you. Whether you are Muslims or non-Muslims, whether you are kafir and hate Allah, He still will give you your right, because you have done your duty by working hard in this life. And there have to come between you and Him. He will tell you, why don't you believe me? Why didn't you believe in me? Fadl.
So yes, I would like to also ask about the concept of insaniya, humanitarianism, but on a deeper level, like the Islamic or the Arabic understanding of the word, in light of what's happening in not only in this country but in other parts of Europe, and since Brexit, and since migrants and people dying on the oceans, everybody some dying to get into European countries. And how do we as humanitarians, how do we face this in terms of, do we just put a sticking plaster, do we just give out food boxes, do we agree with migration, should there be no migration, like what's happening? It's very confusing.
The word of insaniya, which is humanitarianism, is very narrow and very restricted, and restricted you to the dimension of the thinking of the human being. Because humanitarianism, humanity, human, coming from human being, as an Englishman. Okay? The source of humanitarianism is the human.
Right.
So in humanitarianism, human became the legislator, the judge, the jury, okay, the witness, the lawyer, attorney, and the criminal.
The oppressor.
Everywhere.
The helper.
But the most important thing is that he is the legislator,
the lawmaker.
the lawmaker. And here, because it is called humanitarianism, I invented the word 18 years ago.
Okay.
I call it, go to the Oxford dictionary, what's the other one? St. George, or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
dictionary. It's called creaturitarianism.
Creaturitarianism. Yes.
Creaturitarianism, it refers to the creator. Because creaturitarianism come creature, creator. So in creaturitarianism, creaturity, creaturitarian, creationism, it goes back to the legislator, which is not the man,
Yeah. Divine.
the divine. After that, the man could do any other jobs. Could become the judge, the jury, the attorney, the criminal, the witness, anything. And the difference between both of them is the dimension of the scope of the comprehensive knowledge and direction that the Creator gives to us, or the human being gives to us. Need to start with. Clear?
Yes.
In a world like this, if you want to come practical, you do what you believe in. Like if you talk about the riots which happened in the UK a few weeks ago,
Yes.
be as you are, be vigilant, be informing the police, informing the mosque people, informing the worshippers, informing the citizens, build a relationship between you and local government, local churches, local synagogues, local temples, local MPs, local councillors. You have to do that. I was talking to somebody from a different country, without mentioning the name, and they were complaining about their governments. It's watching us closely, trying to close us down. I said, first question is, you have an external relation department to deal with the government? You know what they said? No. I said, how on earth? They said that the civil servants in the government will help you if you don't connect with them. Do you connect with churches? Do you connect with other institutions? No. So what are you doing? Do you think because you are in the West, all the non-Muslim governments are against you? No. I told them this yesterday. I told them they want you to be seen as German, as British, as Italian, because you're doing something fantastic, and they want to put you as a star on their shoulder. They want you as a national. They want to come and stay in this country and enjoy all the resources. Then we talk a different language. We have a culture which is not conducive to the local culture. We have a behavior which is wrong, a code of dress which does not suit the people there, and we do not connect to explain who are we.
Right.
Even if we have this different culture, but they understand our culture, they will accommodate us.
We're in
our
silos.
ghettos.
Yes.
Or in our ghettos.
Echo chambers.
That's it.
Yes.
Comfortable zone.
For many years, for decades, it's been like this.
Yeah, but I came here for nearly 50 years ago. It's been like this before me.
But is it designed to be like that?
No, it is people, this is their comfort zone. They are happy to do that. Traditionalism. There's something called traditionalism, something called diversity, something called pluralism, something called inclusivity.
This is where, as a convert or a revert, like, I've seen both worlds, and I remember I became a Muslim. I had children. I sent them to a Muslim school. The Muslim school said one day they sent a letter home. They said, we want to take your children to a visit to the church.
Very good.
So I signed it to give permission. But many Muslim parents, they were, no, we can't send our children. And I was speaking to them in the playground. I'm like, you don't need to be afraid. They're not trying to convert your children. It's just about knowing each other. That's all it is about.
Let me give you two examples responding to this. One example, when the Christian from Yemen came to the Prophet ﷺ in Medina, they were wearing the traditional Orthodox code of dress. Big cross, black, and all these kind of things. And when they came to the mosque, some of the companions said, I said, don't say,
Yes.
cool down. Not only that, the time of their late afternoon prayer came, where they were discussing with the Prophet ﷺ, and they took permission to pray. Prayed where?
In the masjid.
In the masjid. Okay?
Yes.
He allowed them because they are here to ask, to learn, to understand, and to be invited, exchange and views. And this is how the Prophet ﷺ was bringing them to the mosque. The other one, which is the incident of Umar, when Muslims claimed back Jerusalem, the Christians were actually giving the keys of the city to him. He wanted to pray.
Yes.
They asked him to come and pray in their church. He said no. Say why? He said because if I pray there, the Muslims will claim to make it a mosque later.
Right.
So let me to pray outside. That's why if you go to Jerusalem, you find the big church there and the very small mosque next to it.
Wow. Inshallah, one day I'll go and see.
Okay, very small mosque. I prayed there because I went there twice. And this is the mentality of the people who understand, not actually rehearse and regurgitate Islam.
Engage. It's about engagement again.
Yeah, because actually they have to understand, then engage.
Yes.
And actually, Prophet ﷺ allowed them. Umar did not want to pray there, not because he is unable, he was a conqueror, But he said, in the future, Muslim will claim this piece of land and they will take your church. This is the respect
Yes.
of somebody's religion. Because you can argue about the behavior of the Prophet ﷺ. Oh, he's a prophet, he's bringing them there to convert them.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about Umar?
Yeah.
He did not praise them because he did not want somebody like me to go and claim this piece of land.
Right.
They knew, as a visionary man, that this could happen. And you know, at the time of Salahuddin,
Al-Ayyubi.
the one who was paying the money for releasing the Christian from to get out of Jerusalem,
Right.
was Salahuddin and his son.
Right.
Nobody talks about this.
In a similar vein, nobody talks about the sacrifice of the millions of Muslim Indian soldiers, Pakistani soldiers,
The First World War, Second World War.
African soldiers.
Yeah. Chinese.
I was in the Army Cadets as a teenager, and we used to do the Remembrance Sunday parade. And I was getting older when I left Army Cadets and started to learn about all the world wars and things like that. Why isn't there representation of these groups on the Remembrance Day parades? And especially when this right-wing extremism started to come up, I was like, even if our government, if they just did some programs or on the news, they did some broadcasts showing the history of the people who sacrificed their lives for Great Britain, that would smash a lot of racism.
But actually, to be very honest, I cannot blame the government. The government is very busy to talk about you.
Right.
You have all the rights to dig deep into the history and bring it out as a book, as a podcast, as a speech, as lecture, as video,
Yes.
as drama. You know, this movie which came in India, the Indian movie which called Goat Life. Have you heard of it?
No.
Goat Life was a movie created. It was a story
Right.
which had been published or reprinted 250 times.
Okay.
250 times.
Good life or God life?
Goat. Goat. You know goat?
Goat life.
When this Indian Muslim, his name was Najib, went to Saudi Arabia to work there, they would have this kind of kafil. I don't know what's kafil in English. Custodian?
Sponsor.
The sponsor, which hold his passport, and he has been put in the middle of the desert with the goats and with the sheep, till he himself looked like goats, like another goat. The length of the hair and the beard and the dust, and even the goat knew him as one of them. Anyway, he was very badly treated. I did not read the novel, which is a true story, and it became a movie. In 3 weeks or 4 weeks time, it made 60 million or 70 million. It cost about 5 million, but in 3 or 4 weeks it made 60, 70 million. When you look at this and how he was treated actually by people, this is what you don't want to go to do. But when you make a movie like this, it will have an impact. Make a movie about the Muslim soldiers who died in the First World War and Second World War. Why don't you invest in movie, in drama, in poetry, in songs, in theater? How many people go to the mosque every Friday? And how many people watch a drama every Friday?
The majority are watching drama.
Whether it's halal drama or non halal drama.
Right.
Here you have to understand, the Imam is excellent because we need him for guidance, but the verbal speeches are good but not good enough. You have to have something else. And here, brother Abdul Rashid, You have to have ijtihad
Yes.
to make tajdeed. Tajdeed is the renewal. This ijtihad to make tajdeed has to be there to tell people, can I take some money from zakat to make a movie?
Okay.
He said, why? I said, okay. Look at the impact of the movie called The Message.
The Message.
How many hundreds of millions saw it?
Yes.
Look at the impact of The Lion of the Desert movie.
My friend watched The Message and became a Muslim. I took the video cassette to
This
him.
is it's been created, produced in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the drama of the series of Arturo. Billions of people saw it in different languages. Very well written, very well acted, very well directed, photographed, and so on. So it became the superstar of Turkey. Okay? And the other, I'm not saying something bad about the Imam, but you know what? I have to say something bad about the people who actually run the mosques. They do not invest in Imams. I had the discussion which I was very upset with somebody who was a consultant running one of the centers in UK, medical consultant, and was advertising the full-time job for an Imam for £20,000 or £25,000. I rang him. I said, how on earth this will this be sufficient for somebody with a family?
I know the answer. They'll say the Imam is only there to lead the prayer.
No. Yes, they said
Yeah.
that. Said, he's just coming for 2 hours. Why you get somebody to the mosque for 2 hours? Get the right salary and get somebody to be a leader of the community. Because anybody can come to the mosque and lead the prayer. This is the vision of the people who run the mosques. They don't invest in Imam.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very big responsibility and a very big area.
Yeah.
Youth work, counseling, psychology, all of that is.
He's a community leader.
Yeah.
He has to lead by example as a scholar. So he's a scholar and the community leaders. And if he invests in Imam and his team, the mosque will be an institution.
Will be amazing.
And people will come.
Why are we not doing this? It's been decades and decades. But there are some examples, alhamdulillah, of some good work going on. Inshallah, every masjid for at least should have a full-time youth worker, for example.
This is one of the activities.
Yeah.
But the catalyst or the focal point or the attraction point is the Imam who gives the fatwa and lead and give the speech on Friday and lead the congregation. Does he have to lead the congregation every prayer? No, maybe
have a
Zuhr and Asr, sometime Maghrib, because sometimes Maghrib come at 10 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
But actually, at the Zuhr and Asr, treat him, because I delivered the talk about the Imam in Arabic. It's nearly 1.5 hours. You have to treat him at the level of a director.
Right.
Like actually, in Islamic belief, you have the director level.
Yes.
This is the Imam should be a director of the mosque.
Right.
Give him the job description of director,
Makes sense.
not just an officer salary. And you know what he told me? Secretly, you can go and take some social benefit.
Oh no, they're not still thinking like this.
Yeah, wallahi, he told me that. I said, what?
Yeah.
He said, yes, you can take social service. I said, khalas. I stopped talking.
Yeah. The barakah is gone then.
Finished.
Yeah.
They think
It's
if they
a
spend,
type of khiyana, it's a type of, this, and the barakah goes then.
they think if you give him a small salary, you will save the mosque because you save the money. No, if you give him the salary, if you get somebody with a good salary but he can do the job,
Yes.
this good salary, like I tell you, one day, maybe 10 years ago or more than 10 years ago, Sheikh Rajab came here and he was in Ramadan with us. You know Sheikh Rajab?
The Egyptian from
From London. And in one night, he raised £25,000. This was actually 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You can imagine how much it is now. But during the month of Ramadan is more than that. Him and the others were not allowed to work full time because they have charismatic leadership. And sometimes the board of the mosques do not want to be challenged by a community leader. If something wrong goes between him, any charismatic leader, and the mosque, the people in the community will stand next to whom? To the imam.
Yeah.
And this happened many times in America and in Canada.
But it's a bit of a fear as well of the past, what's gone on, and the accusations and the false, as Muslims being guilty by association. Just because we're Muslims, we're guilty. People are scared of this charisma. Like, there's nothing wrong with being charismatic. There's nothing wrong.
But you know what? If you have a private company, you employ the one who has charisma to get you money.
Yeah.
Or the school, you get a charismatic head teacher, with a male or female, to get you the children. But it's not in the mosque.
It's a shame. It's a big shame. But it's a massive need, because we can see in Birmingham the population is growing and growing and growing. And
Growing,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are leaving the mosques.
Yeah, they are.
Now, there's high divorce rate
Yes.
amongst our youth. This was never there 40 years ago. And the English community were saying, we envy you because we don't see you divorcees.
Yes.
And we envy you because the number of prisoners, Muslim prisoners, were very, very minimum.
Oh, this was before. Now it's
Now it's different now.
opposite now. Yes, it is.
Why? We have to ask ourselves, what is the role of the mosque? What's the role of the school? What's the role of the family at home? We don't have libraries.
We don't. There's only one that I know. It's Ibn Rushd in Stratford Road.
But there's no libraries. It's not a library. Don't mention the names.
Yeah.
It's not a library.
Yes. A resource.
A resource center.
Even the local libraries are closed now. The one on Mosley Road by the Dar is
26 libraries
Closed.
will be closed after what happened to the corruption of Birmingham City Council.
So yes, also we were talking about the other day with the disturbances and the riots that happened here in the UK, and I went to a meeting. It was a closed meeting. Some very interesting people were in the circle, and all it was for people to come together from different backgrounds. I'm going to mention no names, and but we can say generally there was former Muslim extremists, there was former Nazi extremists in the room, and there was some community leaders, some mosque leaders, and we had a very interesting debate. And people were expressing what they thought, and the thing that we all agreed on was that the white working class people, who are the stereotype of the rioters, they have something to say and nobody's listening to them. What do you think about it? Do you think it's...
I agree 100%, because there's a lot of white area which badly treated by its local councils after the cuts. A lot of social deprivation. Services, social services is not there. So those people, whenever something happens, they come out revolted. The black sheep of the community in UK are the Muslims. The easy target.
The scapegoat.
The scapegoat. No, sorry, the scapegoat, not the black sheep. The scapegoat is the easy target Muslims. But they have to look at, does the white people are all bad? No, it's not. You have to understand their sufferings, the lack of social services for years in their area, the unemployment rate, the wrong policy of the capitalist conservative governments when they only support the rich and deprive the poor. All these kind of things will lead them to come out and drive. And this is what happened in America when the black, and the Black Monday, was the electricity was cut off.
Yeah, in New York, yes.
In New York.
Yeah.
And everywhere. Because those people, nobody listened to them. Nobody recognized them. Called them white or black or brown, the same. But because the white people came out, called them that criminal, no. They have an issue to be addressed. And we should, as Muslims, address their issue as much as we address our issues.
Yeah.
We should outreach them. Because really, among them, a lot of good people.
Yeah.
And good quality people. In spite of the fact, maybe uneducated, unemployed, and living different life. This is actually the climate of the country. But we should not look at all of them as bad guys. No. We should look at the root causes of the problems, which made them to come out and have the soft target, which is the scapegoat of the Muslims.
Something very interesting, Doctor, came on the news. It was ITV News. They did an investigation into the source of the false fake news about the person who did this crime.
Or slashed.
Yes. And unbelievable, they found the source was a advertisement agency in Pakistan. An independent advertising agency in Pakistan who made money from advertising and getting people to come to his website through controversial stories, because everybody likes a drama.
Wow.
So people clicking, it's called clickbait. And he heard on Twitter, this individual, he heard on Twitter that there was this atrocity that happened in Southport, and then he quickly spread it. Somebody said, it's migrants, it's Muslims, and he put it on his platform and quickly spread it around. And ITV News went to Pakistan, and a reporter knocked on his door and found the source. And now the Pakistani authorities have that person, and
is it?
Yeah,
Charging him?
they're doing so. He's going through a case now, but it's very interesting the way fake news
How many
can
people?
spread.
How many people died?
Wow.
How many shops and houses burned down? Millions of pounds have been lost.
What it needs now is for us to sit as communities. As you said, it's about engagement and connecting with people. And at the very least, we can agree to disagree.
That's right, yeah.
But we can get rid of a lot of the myths. Or why do your women cover? Why do this happen? Why are you wearing this long shirt? You're supposed to be British. Why? We can sit and talk.
Yeah. We can, but we are not mature enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So you have two extremes now, or two statements at each end. One says no refugees, and the other one says refugees are welcome. And you have the far right and you have the far left. I think personally, nobody wants to see people leaving their home countries, going on dangerous journeys.
That's right, yeah.
Being in the hands of these criminals that are trading in human trafficking. Doctor, remember that case a couple of years back, where those Vietnamese, a truckload of Vietnamese, were found in the back of the lorry, suffocated to death? There are people in this world who are making money off the back of these people.
That's right.
And we should be united to against those criminals. But at the same time, people shouldn't. Why are people finding a need to leave their countries? It's not just about money. Come to England, because there's no money here as well.
Yeah.
The country's facing difficulty. It's because their countries are corrupt. Their countries are, you can't live there.
Yeah.
So they just keep moving from another place to another place, and then they end up by the sea. They have to go on a dinghy with their children. It's
Yeah.
who would choose to do that? A desperate
Forced.
person. A
They are
desperate
forced to
person.
do that.
Yeah.
Forced to do that.
So in that sense, refugees are not welcome to do that. We don't want them to do that, but we want to help them.
normal way.
Yeah, we want to help them in the the
And we need
migration. Migration is good for a country.
Yeah, we need them. Because if we stop producing children,
Yeah.
that means we don't have young people. We don't have young workers. Who's going to run our shops, our companies, our factories, our farms?
Deliver your coffee. You can order one coffee online and get it delivered to your house.
Yeah.
And it's not just here. Even in the rich Arab countries, I went to Dubai and I see the people working there in the extreme heat on the motorbike, like outside. If you leave your sat nav holder in the car and you go in park in the sun, it melts onto you. It melts like jelly, and people are working in that environment
Yeah.
just to deliver food. And the same type of people are here doing the same type of jobs
Yeah. Hard work.
for minimum wage or whatever it is.
And
Who
we
else is
still-
going to do that?
And we still don't want them to come here.
But then on the other side, our doctors, our nurses, our dentists, our surgeons, our heart surgeons, our brain surgeons, a lot of them are from other countries. So we need to create the space where we can sit down and have sift through all the fake news and propaganda and lies and extremism and come to a middle.
Yes, should be.